Awesome. Well, thanks for popping up here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's really cool. There's a energy here.
Yeah.
Yeah, really noticeable. Yeah, it's a great property.
Yeah, that's what people say. I think it helps having a bunch of young people downstairs. That cool young person energy.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Not a bunch of old guys like me.
And me.
Yeah. So with your accent, I figure you're probably born right around here.
Yeah, just up the road, about 5,000 miles away.
Yeah. Yeah. So where did you grow up?
I was born in Poole in Dorset in England.
Say that again.
Poole in Dorset, yeah, which is a county in England. And
what'd your parents do there?
my mother sort of did everything. My father never really did anything at all.
Really?
Raised, I would say I was kind of raised in the States sort of half of the time.
Yeah.
My grandparents moved to Florida in the 60s.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
Growing up on boats and fishing and swimming. And
That's cool.
yeah, it was very cool. Yeah.
How old were you the first time you came to the U.S.?
Oh, months old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like there was like some moment you came when you were that you could really remember that made an impact, or
not really. I mean, I just remember it left an imprint on me.
Yeah.
From the get-go, pretty much. My grandfather was in the boat business, so I used to go on boat surveys with him all over Florida.
Oh, really?
Disney World, obviously.
What did you remember? Like, what years were these about? Like 80s?
Late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
And all of the 80s and most of the 90s.
As a kid, as a young person from, grade school through high school, what did you notice, like, that was kind of like a big difference back then between being in England and being in the States?
Well, the weather, for one.
Yeah. Not rainy all the time.
Not rainy, not cold. Everything's big. My grandfather used to drive. We used to go on these surveys like 3 hours away, and he'd have a cooler, not a Yeti one, igloo one, in the back of his car, full of Diet Cokes.
Yeah,
and like we just didn't have that in England.
Really,
certainly wouldn't have a Diet Coke in your car. It was just like so. Yeah, cool. Drive McDonald's. I mean, there was one McDonald's in London.
Really,
and that was it.
Yeah.
Drive-through McDonald's, drive-through banks. I mean, didn't have drive-through anything in England.
Really?
Yeah. So
interesting.
Everything was very different. Everyone had a pool.
Yeah.
Nobody has a pool in England.
Yeah.
Everyone has a boat. Nobody has a boat in England.
Yeah.
It's just
the first time I went to London, it just struck me how old, and I don't mean it in a bad way, like in a really cool way. Just like there's so much history there compared to the U.S., right? We're such a young country.
Yeah.
The pavers, it's like I'm driving around in a taxi on pavers that are like 1,000 years old or something. It's crazy. Like, and just the architecture, all the buildings and stuff. And it's just like, man, I'm walking into buildings that they were walking into in the 1300s or 1400s or whatever. It's just crazy.
It really is. And London's an amazing city, full of history. And the subway or the tube is over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And London's an incredible city. It really is.
Yeah.
Very, very vibrant, very diverse, great restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah, the food was amazing.
Yeah.
In London, there and in Paris, the food was just unbelievable in both of those places.
Yeah, I think England gets a bad rap for its restaurants, but actually they're really good.
Yeah.
I think that's historically they were pretty shit, but
yeah,
they're amazing.
Yeah, I mean, those big cities like New York, like food is amazing, and it made sense to me. Like when one of my knife customers said, "Well, bad restaurants don't last." I mean, there's so many options, there's so many places and it's so expensive for rent. If your restaurant's not full and you're not busy, you're not going to make it very long.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, it's interesting. In London and in England in general now, today, I haven't been back to Europe for probably 15 years. what are you guys noticing? Like, I hear a lot on the news about, the infiltration of all of the different migrants from like Africa and all that stuff going on right now. And just a lot of like, kind of like we're dealing with the illegal immigration, or we were with the last 4 years. Are you noticing in England, like a change in like even the feeling of security and safety, or is that just on the news and just hype?
England's always been very diverse, particularly London. I think Brexit will go down in history as one of the biggest mistakes we've made. People voted for it because they thought it mean less immigration, and it's actually had the opposite effect.
Yeah,
and I think it's probably not as bad as you think.
Yeah,
but it's certainly an issue. I mean, we got boats coming in every day from France.
Right.
And, I find it strange that you come from a war-torn country, or there's civil war or whatever, and yet to get to England, you've probably traveled through 10 or 12 other countries in Europe.
Right.
So I think there's a problem inherent within the country that our benefit system is so generous and open to exploitation.
Right.
That people are attracted to that.
Right. They're skipping a lot of safe, pretty free countries to come to that one.
Oh, yeah. And then getting in a boat and risking your life right at the end when arguably you don't have to.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah. So where did you actually go to high school? Was it in the U.S. or in?
No, I went to a boarding school on the Isle of Wight, which is a tiny little island off the south coast of England. I think my mother thought I wouldn't be able to escape from there.
Is a boarding school like? Is it like kind of like? Are you dropped off and like can't see your parents for months type deal?
Yeah.
Really?
I was in the States. I was in Florida.
Were you a trouble kid? Were you like, did she take you there because you were a little pain in the ass, or?
Yeah, it was last chance saloon for me.
Was it?
Yeah, and I was in America with my grandfather in August, and I called home on a Sunday because you'd only call home on a Sunday because the call prices were cheaper then.
Yeah.
And I called home on a Sunday, and my mother said, well, when you get back, you're going to a different school. And I said, well, where am I going? She said, well, you're going to boarding school. And I think my grandfather had this image in his head of boarding schools in the Victorian ages. And he put his arm around me. He said, sorry, son. He said, you're going to get buggered every day. And I remember going back to England being completely terrified.
Yeah.
And
what age were you?
11. And
oh, you're still pretty young.
Yeah, and all my stuff was in a case, and I got taken to this. It was like prison.
Yeah.
On the Isle of Wight, and I remember being terrified and cried every day for like a month. And then after that, I didn't want to leave. It was amazing.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was incredible. Yeah.
Why? What was it like?
We went sailing every day after school. We used to break out of the house in the middle of the night and go and break into the girls' dormitories and all kinds of fun stuff. And yeah, we actually, you think you're going to be deprived of freedom, and I had more freedom there than I ever could have had at home.
Really?
Yeah, in a strange way.
Did you feel like you got a pretty good education too?
Yeah, I did. And you make relationships with people that you just don't get to do in a day school. And the things that we did outside of the sort of 9 to 5, all kinds of sports and sailing and swimming and all that kind of stuff. So
were you there all the way pretty much through high school then?
Yeah, I left when I was 16.
Okay, so that's when you graduated, basically?
Yeah, and then I went to high school and got kicked out.
Oh, really? In England?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then did you go back to school after that, or did you go to college? Or
I thought about it, and I got kicked out. I went traveling around Australia, backpacking.
How'd you decide on Australia from England?
It was very far away from England, and I came home from school one day and said I've been kicked out. My mother went fairly nuts.
Yeah.
And wrote me a check out to get as far away from her as possible.
Really?
And I thought Australia was quite far away. was about as far away as you could get. So that's where I went. And I spent...
Did you know anyone there?
I had a friend who had also been kicked out of school a few months before and ended up there. And I spent half of the money I had on a plane ticket.
Yeah.
And I spent the other half in about a week on beer.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then I'm 12,000 miles away from home on a beach.
Completely broke.
Sleeping in a multi-story car park.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you? How long were you in Australia?
10 months.
Really?
Yeah. Traveling around. Made the first Mega Mac in Sydney, Australia.
Make what?
Mega Mac.
What is that?
It was I don't know, twice the size of a Big Mac in McDonald's in Bondi Beach.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I used to fish the hamburgers out of the trash because they threw them away after 20 minutes if they didn't sell them. And I'd fish them out and
stack them up,
put them in the microwave, and sell them in the hostel that I was staying in.
Hey, gotta be have some ingenuity.
Absolutely, yeah.
Be creative to make it.
Yeah, and you know that documentary about McDonald's.
Yeah,
I did that. I ate McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a month.
Yeah,
and
just as a lifestyle. Yeah,
it's all I could afford.
Right.
Yeah.
So, where'd you go after you left Australia?
Came back to England with all the right intentions to go back to college and get an education, and my mother thought that was funny.
Yeah,
I'd get kicked out of school, and she was right. I mean, I would have gone back. I would have gone to college and got kicked out.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And then I moved to London, got a job in the real estate market, and did that for about 10 years before setting up my company.
So what was that kind of first initial job in the real estate?
I was a broker.
Okay.
Yeah, real estate broker in London.
And you just kind of started kind of apprenticing under somebody, kind of learning it a little bit. And
Yeah. And then went self-employed fairly quickly after that.
Okay.
Never really been one to work for anybody.
Yeah. So is that when you said you went self-employed, is that when you started your company? Or you kind of were self-employed just as an agent?
Yeah, I was self-employed as an agent, buying and selling real estate, that kind of thing, and then set up my mortgage and insurance business about 15 years ago.
So how did that? How did that idea come along? Starting that business?
It was around the credit crunch, so it was 2008, height of the financial crisis. So probably the worst time to get into that industry. You couldn't borrow a dime from the bank. The banks pretty much shut up.
That was that 08, 09 kind of time.
Yeah, Lehman Brothers around then.
Yeah.
And I had lots of property contacts. Everyone was really struggling to borrow money, and I thought it'd be a good time to set up a mortgage and insurance business. And actually it was.
How do you do that? How or what made you think while this crisis is happening that you could somehow start this business and succeed? Like, what was the opportunity that you saw?
I've always been interested in businesses that generally run badly. Mm-hmm. And in England, and I guess it's pretty similar in the States, real estate agents are fairly low down the food chain, in terms of customer service, and most of them would sell their mothers. Right. And mortgage and insurance brokers are pretty much in the same boat. Mm-hmm. They're maybe one up from a real estate agent, mm-hmm. certainly in the UK anyway. And it's the barrier to entry is quite low. You can get your mortgage insurance qualifications in 2 months from having no experience at all. You can get your qualifications pretty quickly.
Wow, that seems like a sketchy system.
Yeah, and you can earn a lot of money, right? So it attracts people that probably shouldn't be in that business. Yeah, into an industry where they can make a lot of money. So the benchmark is pretty low, and you don't have to try very hard to shine. Mm-hmm. And we just offered really, really good customer service. We're diligent, did unusual things like call people back and return emails and stuff like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. I know. And it worked. And we just sort of went the extra mile for our customers, our clients, and it paid off. And
so you were, during that rough time when people couldn't get loans, you were giving out loans?
we were brokers, so we were the intermediary working with the banks, and we were just working really, really hard. 24 hours a day,
just trying to help that customer get that loan secured, basically. Yeah. And so, are you getting basically just a percentage cut of like the overall
tiny percentage? Absolutely, like
loan package.
Yeah, less than 0.5%.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you do that on scale, and it grows,
right?
And and then they come back. So in England, it's very different. So you typically have like a 25 or a 30-year fixed.
Yep.
In England, the average is 2.
How's that possible?
So if I do a 2-year fixed rate for you, your mortgage is fixed for that 2 years, and in 18 months' time, you're calling me up going, "Hey, I'm nearly at the end of my 2-year fixed rate. What am I going to do?"
So then you have an adjustable rate after that?
And then you pick another rate, probably another 2-year rate or a 5-year rate, maximum 5.
So if the economy moves during that time period and the rates go up, I mean, you're paying
more, yeah.
Wow.
Luckily,
because they have adjustable rate, like the arms here, and that adjustable rate idea worked out real good for people for a long time.
It did, yeah.
While interest rates just kept dropping. I mean, I got my first home loan here for my first home that we bought when I first moved to Missoula in 2002. And I remember the bank calling me saying, "Hey, rates just hit 6%. You need to get here today. They're probably not going to stay here longer than like today. Get here today, get your paperwork signed. Let's lock that rate in."
Yeah.
And, there were some people that were saying like, "Hey, you should do an adjustable rate." And my parents had lived through the early 80s with inflation and interest rates being like 17 to 20%. And of course, my dad was like, "Take 6% and lock it in for the rest of your life." Like, and everyone was saying like, "You're not going to see rates like this ever again. They've never been this low." So we closed on that loan, and for the next 15 years, they just kept dropping. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Refied a few times, and I think got a home loan here on this place for like 3.25, 3.5, or something like that. So those adjustable rates worked out really well for people. But then, obviously, in these last 2 or 3 years, if you had an adjustable rate, 3 years ago you could have had a 3 or 4% interest rate, and now you're looking at 8, 7.
Well, your dad's advice was right.
Yeah,
I mean, it
was
the right thing to do at the time,
for sure.
And historically, 6 is really low.
Yeah,
and we looked like rock stars because we were giving people a mortgage at one rate, and then in 18 months' time, we're calling them up, going, "Hey, guess what? We get you an even better rate."
Yeah, so that was a great time period for you.
And they think we're really clever, and of course, we weren't. We were just taking advantage of a dropping market.
Sure, that's interesting that they don't do long-term fixed rates in Europe.
Yeah, there's no loyalty to banks. So you'll be with one bank 1 year, and then the next year you'll switch. It's like a cell phone contract.
So let's talk about banking for a second in Europe, because I had heard some things the other day, or maybe a few weeks ago, about like banking in America versus banking in other countries. And I had heard that part of what helps the U.S. be so innovative and like new businesses start and thrive, like ours, start and thrive.
Yeah.
I didn't actually go borrow money to start this business, but that was an anomaly. I mean, I kind of refused to do that. But in theory, most people go borrow some seed money, either from a friend or family or a bank, and then they start their business here, and then they grow it, and probably continue borrowing a lot of money throughout the process. But in the U.S., we can go in any tiny little town in America. You can go to your little local bank and you can go borrow $2,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 to start your business. And like in Frenchtown, for example, you can go down to Trail West Bank and talk to Ben, who's the president. You can walk right in the doors. You can walk right in the president's office, and you can like, "Hey, Ben, I want to start a knife company, and here's my idea." And if he thinks you're credible enough, he'd be like, "Well, write you a check for 10 grand and go buy your grinder," right?
Yeah.
I've heard that in Europe that they don't have like all the small community banks like we do, and it's more like bigger banks, and it's much harder for like kind of a nobody to walk in and get a $5,000, $20,000 something loan. Is that true? Like, do you guys have that ability?
That's very true. It's a monopoly of about half a dozen banks.
That's what I heard.
All pretty big banks. Nobody has any authority to do anything it's all the computer says
big corporate
yes or invariably no. We had a situation not that long ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and from a tax reason, it was advantageous to us to borrow some money to invest in some IT infrastructure that we were building. And we were turning over about $5 million a year at the time. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to borrow about $75,000.
Yeah, nothing.
And we had no overdraft, no debts, nothing. And it was a nightmare. And it just didn't, we just gave up in the end. It was too problematic. And the bank's basic starting point, you go into a bank and they don't want to help you.
Yeah.
And in fact, there isn't anyone there that could help you even if they wanted to help you. And a friend of mine moved to the States, to Austin, about 20 years ago. And I remember him calling me up after having been there a week saying, oh my God, what's happened? You know, I can go to a bank and they actually want to lend me money. They want to do stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so different. And it's a big part of what I think is great about the States is that you can do that.
Yeah, you don't have to be anybody. I mean, if you have just a little bit of credit and you have a decent little business plan, and I do these talks actually fairly often to our employees downstairs. We'll have a Tuesday meeting, and I highly encourage them. Most of these kids, I think, are banking it. You know, they just go open a checking account at like a Chase Bank, right?
Yeah.
Some big bank. And we had some bigger banks around here that had offices that in the last several years, they closed the local offices and they've consolidated. You know, you can't walk in and pay your home mortgage anymore, write them a check. Like you have to mail it into the California branch or something. And there's no like local person, right? I encourage them often, like go down to a Trail West bank or whatever small community bank and walk in. Don't go through the drive-through. Walk in, open your account, introduce yourself, and then every time you go to that bank to make a deposit or to make a payment, walk in, you know, continue to get to know the tellers behind the counter, get to know the people at the bank, because there's a day you're going to need to walk in there and go, I want to buy a home. And you know, if those bankers have a little rapport with you and they're like, hey, this kid's a good kid and he works for that knife company down the road, they hire good people, like let's help this kid get into it, right? There's only so much they can do,
sure,
but they can definitely do some things. They can make it a bit easier for you. And long before I had MKC and I was in debt and you know, just basically paycheck to paycheck, but I could still walk in that bank and be like, hey, my truck just died. I need an $8,000 loan to buy this new pickup, you know, or new to me, used pickup. And Ben would be like, I'll have that in your account this afternoon. Go buy it. Like, no questions asked. Just, you know, get us some of the details on the vehicle, and we trust your judgment. And that allows tiny little businesses to start in 2-car garages anywhere in America and blow up into something. You know, it really allows for that ingenuity and that invention, which I think, and I encourage people that are listening to this all across the U.S., like go bank at that local bank. Now, granted, like for example, for us, you know, we started MKC. I had to walk in there and borrow money to build the building we're sitting in right now. And it was a weird situation. I'm like, hey, my business is really growing. They knew it. I mean, you know, I know them. I walked in there and I'm like, hey, my business is really growing, but I can't afford to go buy commercial property and build like some big, huge building.
Sure.
I'm not sure if this business is like really going to go or if this is like a weird little shooting star and then we're going to die or whatever. So like, I need to prove this beyond my 2-car garage, but I can't go buy what we're building now.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I walked into Ben and I'm like, look, I want to build a building in my horse pasture and my employees are going to report to work at my house, but I need a kind of a commercial loan but on my home property that I already have a loan on my house and my property. And that's basically a no-no in banking, right? It's like a second loan for commercial business on a home piece of property. And they worked it all out, and they helped me build this building. And that truly allowed for us to grow this last 3 years into what we're doing now. Now, you might run into a situation like we did where we go to build this next building. It was honestly maybe a little bit too big for what they were comfortable with, and we had to go with a bigger bank in Missoula. But again, the president of that bank's helping us with that. Like, they just have more lending power, and they do more of the commercial stuff than our small local bank. But I tell people, like, go bank at that little local bank, because most people you're asking for loans that are pretty reasonable, less than $100,000, whether it's a vehicle, a new business idea, a piece of property, you know.
Everybody needs a Ben.
You do.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a Ben.
That would never happen in England.
Really?
No. And unless you were really, really wealthy. You would never see the president.
So if you're a blue collar guy and you have this idea and you want to start this little business in your garage, like how do you do that? Where do you borrow money? Is it from just people, individuals?
Yeah, family, friends. I mean, but how do you do that? I mean, how do you save money? Everything's so expensive now.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Very few people do.
Yeah. Well, I say that today. I mean, even now, it's so expensive to rent here. It's, you know, I see, you know, young people, like it's a challenge. You got to have roommates or live with family or, you know, I mean, you got to have some sacrifice. From 20 years old, 21 years old, you can't have it all.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to sacrifice.
We would meet one or two people a year in my business in England. And they came in and they said, right, I've been living in a 1-bedroom studio apartment. I've had 3 jobs.
Yep.
I've not had a day off in 3 years, and I'm saved X amount of money. Here's my deposit. What can I borrow?
Yeah.
And that male or female was 99% of the time they were from India.
Oh, really?
Never a white kid.
They just were willing to sacrifice.
They just grafted and sacrificed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's part of it too. Like, you come from those countries when you really know what poverty looks like. Like, I've said it about my kids. I mean, you look at like the players in the NFL, in the Major League Baseball, in basketball, most of those guys came from some serious poverty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're willing to work a little bit harder and sacrifice. Like, you're going to work out on that basketball court for an extra 3 hours a day when you know it's maybe your only shot.
Absolutely.
Out of your situation. Yeah. So a lot of those people coming from those countries, you know, we've all had cab drivers in the big city, and they're working 18-hour days driving cab, but they're thankful for the opportunity.
Absolutely. But without the bank of mom and dad, I don't know how people do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. So your mortgage company, it started growing. Did you have some partners in it, or was it just you?
It was me and my business partner.
Okay.
With a cell phone.
Yeah.
No money. And we just grafted.
Yeah.
With the office was about the size of this desk, and if he was on the phone, I had to go and stand outside, and vice versa. Yeah. And we just grafted, and after about 3 months, we took on our first employee, and she's still in the company to this day. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, we grew that business by the seat of our pants.
Yeah.
And into the biggest privately owned mortgage insurance company in England.
Really?
Just the two of us. And that was fun.
That's amazing. Did you end up with quite a few employees then, or?
We got up to about 50.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. It was really funny. At the beginning of the business, everybody wanted to see you. They all wanted to meet, to talk about their mortgage and insurance. And then towards the end of the business, nobody wanted to see you.
Why?
They just want to do everything remotely.
Really?
Yeah. All over the phone, WhatsApp.
Really?
Yeah, it's really strange how that's changed.
See, I still believe, that's why I tell my employees, I still believe in walking in and having that, like, face-to-face. I think that matters.
Well, in England, there's nowhere to walk in anymore.
Really?
Yeah, all the banks have closed, and there's all the high streets are empty. There's no banks anymore. And if there was a bank, you wouldn't find anyone in there that could do anything for you anyway.
God, that's amazing. It just makes me wonder how that's going to work out for them over the next 50 years.
Well, now, funny enough, now they're starting to come back. They're like, oh, guess what? We actually going to put people in a branch and help you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So at what point did you kind of start thinking about selling out and maybe retiring or doing something different?
To me, or to us, the definition of a good business was a business that didn't need the principles.
Mm-hmm.
And we created that through a lot of hard work, through technology, and we really created an environment that tolerated me and my weird attitudes, but also didn't really need us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once we'd got to that point, we'd really achieved what we set out to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was then that we took on investment from a listed business on the stock market that bought 49% of the company.
Okay.
A decision in hindsight that I regret. Shouldn't have done that, but
Why do you say that?
Control, really, and
Even though you still had control.
yeah, technically we did, but we'd already agreed to sell the rest of it to them for an agreed multiple at a given period.
Yeah.
And thinking about it now and with hindsight, I'm a builder. I'm a grower of a and that's the bit I liked.
Yeah.
I liked growing the company. I liked feeling like the world was against us.
Yeah.
And when we kind of got to that point where we were relatively comfortable and it was the clock was ticking, I really sort of fell out of love with it, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. You and I talked a little bit the other day about this, but like people ask me like, "Oh, are you going to grow this thing up and sell it or whatever?" And I'm like, "Well, first of all, if I did that, especially anytime soon, I mean, I'm 44 years old. If I sold all of this, I would wake up tomorrow and I would not know what to do. Like I this is what I enjoy doing. Like I truly enjoy doing it. If I became crazy wealthy overnight because I sold my company, I mean, yeah, probably would have a fun hunting season and book a few cool trips, but then I'd be back here in short order going nuts, like I actually really, like, it resonates when you say that, like feeling like the world's against you. We've had a lot of different things happen recently where it's like, it like, it's annoying, but also drives you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also we're still so far away from where I intend to go that I don't feel in any way that we've made it. It's cool what we've done, but like, I love the building aspect of it. Whether I'm building a knife or a business, I've been more focused on building a business lately than building knives. I mean, even when I was a lineman, we were building power pole structures and trying to figure out like, how are we going to get wire from, this point across this canyon and this highway to that point without dropping wire on cars.
Absolutely.
So that really resonates, that building process. And also it's like the analogy of like the dog that caught the car. I feel like if I did that, that dog chases that car for his whole life, and one day he just catches the car. Well, the dog doesn't even know what to do with the car. I wouldn't even know what to do.
You just turn into a fat, arrogant asshole.
Yeah.
If you're not careful.
Yeah. It would be easy. I mean, if you have a bunch of money and
I
feel like you're smarter than everybody else.
Yeah. Coronary heart attack in 5 years.
Yeah.
That's what would happen to me anyway.
Man, I just, even though we go through a lot of stress and whatnot with what we're doing, like I enjoy the build. I enjoy the people, like you said, the vibe downstairs and the employees.
It's great. It's really great.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you sold 49%. You had a little bit of money in your pocket, but you still were running the company.
Yeah, we were. Although I was sort of becoming increasingly unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And a buddy of mine, the guy I told you about who lives in Austin, I went to his wedding last year in Brazil. And I was stood on the beach, and I just thought, fuck it. I just want to be happy. And we often think things like that.
Yeah.
And we often those thoughts come across us, and most of the time we don't take action on them. And I guess I just got into a situation where I got divorced about 5 years ago. My daughter, bless her, doesn't really need her dad in the way that she did. And
how old is she?
She's 21.
Yes, she's an adult.
Going on 40, more mature than I'll ever be, probably.
Yeah.
And my company didn't really need me anymore. We've got all these directors and managers in, and we've accountants going through everything with a fine-tooth comb. And I'd pretty much grown it to the point that we could.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the scale in England like you do here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's you can grow it so much, but without that scale, you're limited.
Yeah.
And I was sat on this beach, and I just thought, fuck it, I want to be happy.
Yeah.
And there sort of began my exit, really.
Sure.
And I left at the beginning of this year.
Yeah. So what was that like? You came after you sold out this year. Did you come straight to the U.S. at that point?
I went to Europe for about a month.
Okay.
Got my sort of head together. It was pretty rough at the start of this year. It wasn't the exit that I wanted.
Yeah.
And you start arguing about money, and it all kind of goes wrong a bit.
Yeah.
Quite easily.
Yeah.
Feels
pretty icky, I'm sure.
It was. And then I came here in May.
Mm-hmm.
Bought an Airstream.
Yeah.
And a truck. Got my dog flown over. And I've always worked, right? I can remember a time when I've not. So I couldn't just travel around America and do nothing. So that's where the book came in.
Yeah. So how did that idea come about?
Well, I didn't want to not do anything.
Yeah.
First and foremost, always been a closet chef. Really, love cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Wished I was a chef. Actually, it was one of those careers that I wish I'd perhaps taken a while ago. And like you, and like many of us now, I can cook a better steak than 99% of restaurants.
Yeah, it's disappointing. We raise our own beef, so we have really good beef to begin with. And then with the, different, grills they have out there and all these different seasonings and whatnot, most of the time I go out and have a steak, I'm like, why did I order a steak? I should have ordered Mexican food or shrimp or sushi.
Absolutely.
Because most of the time the steaks, I could have done better at home, and it would have cost me, a quarter of the money.
Yeah.
Or less.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that a lot. And so often underwhelmed. So I'd already been to 47 states in America when I set out on this trip, and I'm now starting over again, doing all 50, and trying to find the best in each state.
So you're writing a book. What's the name of the book going to be?
50 Steaks in 50 States.
50 Steaks in 50 States. This seems very selfish.
Yes, it's absolutely, completely self-indulgent.
Yeah,
man having a midlife crisis. Absolutely.
I have an idea. I'm gonna go eat a steak in every state. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna judge you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
no, that's awesome. I mean, it's like, if anything, I think most people are gonna be a bit jealous because it's actually going to probably be more work than it sound like. It read at first like, 50 steaks in 50 states. Like, that's not going to be hard. But actually, that's a lot of traveling. It's a lot of logistics.
Yeah.
And also, you might have to stay a while in each state to find that steak. I mean, you can't just go have one steak in a state and leave.
No, because that doesn't feel like a fair judgment, does it?
No.
Well, I got to Montana and stopped because it's so damn beautiful. I haven't actually found a great steak restaurant yet.
Yeah.
Found some great butchers and have cooked a few good steaks.
Yeah.
I bought a compound bow the other day, so I've been going to the archery range.
What'd you get?
I got a Hoyt RX9.
Yeah. Awesome.
From the guys down in Missoula at Straight Six.
Yep. Casey and those guys.
Yep. Good guys. Good. And I just if everybody I loved was in this state, I don't think I'd ever leave.
Really? I just love the state.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, you told me at breakfast when you got to the state, you just felt like a weight lifted off of you.
Oh, yeah, just like somebody pulled the plug out of me.
What do you think that was?
The air. It's pretty peaceful. It's stunningly beautiful. It's quite humbling to be here in such big nature. It makes you feel pretty small.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing sometimes.
I didn't ever know that or notice that just growing up here. You just are used to what you're used to.
Yeah.
And I've traveled a lot recently. And I had traveled before, but I think also being more in my adult life, like you observe your surroundings, I think a lot better than you do when you're 20.
Of course.
21. Because I had traveled, to different knife shows and stuff and gone to cities. But, I didn't realize, like, until I started traveling across Ohio and Illinois and some of the places in the Midwest. And then even I was just out in the Appalachians, out in, like, North Carolina. Beautiful, like, basically jungle. But their mountains just covered in trees. They're not real big. They're not real tall. There's no real landmarks.
Yeah.
I found myself lost as hell. Yeah. And it was funny. Who was saying this? The rodeo clown that's here this week for the rodeo, Matt Merritt, he's from North Carolina.
Right.
And he said, you guys are crazy out here because everyone, he's like, even young, like high school kids, they talk in directions by like east, west, north, south, whatever. But he's like, but you guys can actually see, there's landmarks and there's like, he's like,
it's see where north is.
You know where north is. You see where the sun comes up and where the sun goes down. And he's like, where I'm from, he's like, we talk by like, it's out by, old, Sawmill Road and, whatever bridge.
Yeah.
And he's like, but if you just said, he's like, even at home, as soon as I leave home and I drive 5 or 10 minutes, I don't know what direction is what. But out here, it's easy to tell where north is and south. And it's because it's so open. Even our mountains, like when I was back east, all the mountains are just covered in trees. Yeah. You just feel lost. Here, it's like you look up and you can see open grass slopes and, rock piles and different stuff. And it's just easy to kind of always be able to like, where am I at in Missoula? And I just look up like, oh, there's the mountain. I know where I'm at.
Yeah. It is quite easy to navigate around here.
Yeah. And the sky, I now understand why they say like big sky country.
Yeah.
You can just see so far, it feels like.
It's a stunning state. And I've been to all of them now apart from one. And Montana really is special.
Where haven't you been?
Michigan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Just nothing against Michigan.
Just,
I just haven't got there yet, but I'll be there soon.
I've never been to Michigan, actually. I've heard, like, upstate Michigan's beautiful.
Yeah, I've heard that too, yeah.
Yeah. Be worth spending some time. And, like, Montana's so diverse, too. I mean, like, up around the Flathead, kind of where you're at, the lakes, the mountains, but then you head over east, big prairie country. It's just such a huge state. Well, I mean, you put the size of Montana over the top of Europe. I mean,
you're squashing Europe.
It's going to squash several countries.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you could probably fit 10 Englands.
Yeah, I've admired. One thing that is really cool about Europe is, the proximity to so many different languages and countries. So it's like, French and Italian and all these different languages, German, and you have all these languages within 10 hours of each other. It's crazy.
Or less.
I mean, less.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 hours you can hit 15, 20 countries.
Yeah, so I'll meet people at knife shows and they know 3 or 4 languages, but they have real proximity to those people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite special.
Yeah, that is. That's something that we think we're something if we know a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah. Well, you won't find too many English people that speak 4 different languages.
Yeah. Yeah. So how are you doing this book? Like, how are you eating? Are you going to kind of rank some of the top few restaurants in each state? Or are you just going to kind of pick the number one place that you ate at?
I'm going to pick the number one. And I'm not going to say this is the best steakhouse in Montana.
Right. Because
it's subjective. It's like saying she's the most beautiful girl in the world, and you might think she is, and we're both right.
And like with steaks, I mean, you have one steak, you want to eat them all. It's like, but you can't go to every steakhouse in the state, so you might miss one or something.
I'd be broke and get ass cancer pretty quickly, I think. So I want to try and avoid both of those things.
Yeah.
So I'm doing research. I'm speaking to people and Google and just talking about just about anybody I can and trying to find.
How do you like a perfect, like what's your perfectly prepared steak look like, and how do you like your steak done? Well done?
No.
I was going to say, you won't sell a single book.
No, no, absolutely. Bloody.
Yeah, like medium rare?
Rare.
Rare?
Yeah, a medium if it's a ribeye.
Okay.
Wipe its ass and put it in the pan for a second if it's a fillet.
Do you like it kind of seared on the outside?
Yeah, I like a char on the outside.
Yeah.
And I flip between ribeye and fillet.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll tell you my favorite's a ribeye.
Yeah. Do you, what do you tell people about? Do you just let them season them how they season them? Do you let the seasoning?
Yeah, I won't. I'll let them do what they want.
Mm-hmm. Where so far, spoiler alert, well, how many states have you done so far with the steaks?
Well, on this iteration of my travels, I've done about 10 states.
Okay.
I have been to other states recently and had a great steak, but I figured that if I went there like 2 years ago and had a great steak, I can't write about that in the book. So I've got to go back there.
Yeah.
So
it seems very selfish again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So there was a great place I went to in Minneapolis. Got to go back there and just check that it actually was a great steak.
Do you feel like the atmosphere influences your decisions? A great atmosphere.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does. And you can sit at the bar and it's really lively. And because I'm going on my own. Typically I'm on my own. So
really nice hot blonde waitress.
Yeah, that helps. That helps a lot.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Great jeans.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Even Donald Trump commented on that this week. So you can sit at the bar and it's really lively and busy, and you can sit away from the bar on a seat on your own and kind of be forgotten about, and have a very different experience in the same restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in some restaurants you've got the open flame going on and a bunch of that kind of stuff, and there's that atmosphere, and or even like I feel like sometimes in the winter here it's 20 below zero, and you go into a restaurant that has a crackling fire, wood stove going, nice and warm, and it's like it's like, man, that steak seems like it was better than the one I had in July, but it's just the atmosphere. Your
body needed it more, and the atmosphere was absolutely. I tend to find I got to put myself right in the action.
Yeah,
I'm on my own, so just go for it. Go and sit in the bar, or go and sit near the flame grill or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah.
So standout so far, Vegas was really hard. You throw a rock in Vegas, you hit a steakhouse.
Yep.
And Vegas is really hard. Every hotel's got a steakhouse.
Yep.
But I think I found the best one now. And I really did some research there.
In Vegas?
Yeah, I really did.
Yeah.
I ate some cows.
Yeah. Is there would your top one so far be in Vegas, or is there another state that like stands out that?
I had a really good one in New York last weekend.
Oh,
amazing. Really, really kind of up there. Texas, I'm really looking forward to Texas. I'm going to really spend some time there.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be lots of great options there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to spend a bit of time there. I'll wait till it cools down a bit.
Yeah, I would think I need to find out. I've heard there's a really good steakhouse in Bozeman. I just can't recall the name at the moment. So I need to find that one for you.
I have been told about a couple in Bozeman, actually. I'm hoping Bozeman will have some great places.
Yeah, there's only a couple in Missoula, and one that I think is pretty good. It goes back and forth a little bit, but that Lolo Steakhouse.
Yeah, I went there.
Pretty good, and for atmosphere for sure.
Yeah,
with the building and the flame and all that. Some people don't really like the taste of that wood fired type steak, so that's definitely personal judgment. 1889. Did you eat there yet?
Going there tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one's a good one. They just changed ranches that they get their steaks from, and I don't want to.
They're not as good, are they?
Well, yeah, I hate to taint the jury here.
Okay.
They're still really, really good. I feel like they were just a fuzz better 8 months ago.
Right.
But I usually always have a ribeye there.
Yeah.
Their bone marrow though.
Yeah, you said to try that.
Damn. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Somebody said to me the only steak you should order there is the ribeye.
I had a New York 2 nights ago. It was pretty good, but it's not the ribeye.
Right.
I'd have the ribeye.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to text me tomorrow and tell me how that is.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll be curious to see what else that you find around the state.
So far, Montana is a bit like Alaska. And what I mean by that is I would say to somebody, don't go to Alaska for the steakhouses.
Right.
Go for the nature and the crab and the halibut.
Yeah.
And I ask people here where to go, and they're like, yeah, just go to the butcher and cook it yourself.
Yeah.
And so far, that's definitely been the case.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not. You would think that it would be better, but I think it's also a struggle with, for higher end, really good steakhouses to just survive. It's not like a lot of people around here make a lot of money. So, but Texas, they have their reputation. It should be good.
Yeah. I'm expecting big things from Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Like, do you have kind of an idea of when you're going to, like, a goal of when you're going to wrap this up and actually have the book, or?
I think I'm going to wrap it up early in 2026.
Okay.
Yeah. Apart from anything, the trailer is fun. I'm really enjoying the trailer, but I think that's going to get a little boring come Q1 next year. But it's been great.
What do you and are you going to have a website for this? Like, how can people kind of follow along, or do you have social media even, like, kind of following along, or?
Yeah, so my website is 50 Steaks, FIFTY steaks.com. And you can contact me through that website. It would be great if anybody can send me an email and say, when you come to Texas, you got to go to the steakhouse.
Yeah, try this.
Because that's the best way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll Google and I'll ask people, but recommendations is the best way. So
yeah.
I'm pretty shit at social media.
Yeah.
I said this to you the other day. I think my basic view of people that take photographs of their food and put it online is that they should be executed.
My wife takes pictures of everything and puts it on Instagram.
Apart from your wife.
No, I laugh at her, but she loves food. Like, when we go, I think I told you this, when we go on vacation, it's basically based around food. Well, and her being warm. She really likes to be warm. Like on a beach. But we actually went to Northwest Washington this summer on vacation. Food was super disappointing.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, it was like not great. I thought we were going to just gorge ourselves with seafood the whole time. Yeah. It was not great.
Did you go to Seattle?
We did end up in Seattle the last day.
Yeah, a couple of good places.
And so we didn't really go out like anywhere like real nice in Seattle.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of weirdos in Seattle.
There's a few. There's a Portland as well. Beautiful city, but
man, yeah,
what's going on in Portland?
Weirdville.
Yeah. It's kind of scary, actually.
No, it's crazy. Seattle was so much weirder than it was 10 years ago. Seattle and Portland have always been, kind of had that, little weird side to them, but now I just feel like they've gone over the weird cliff.
Yeah. Kind of scary what's going on in Portland, particularly. It's not.
Yeah, we were watching 4th of July fireworks, and I had a guy in a full-on, like, green alien, like, mascot costume standing 6 inches behind me, and I got into it with him. A black guy next to me got into it with him and was like, hey, man, back the hell off of me. Well, then he was, like, right behind me. In a like, his head looked like a bug. I mean, it was, like, 2 feet around.
Do you have a photo?
No, we should have probably taken a photo. And I was like, man, this is where we need bullying again. Like, there should be some junior high kids around here that rip his little head off and throw it off in the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, dude? And then I start arguing with him, and he's got a big, deep voice. You can tell he's about 40 years old, and he's standing there in a public 4th of July deal watching the fireworks by himself. Just, it wasn't like it was like, oh, haha, funny joke. Like, he was serious. Like,
probably lives with his mother.
He's an alien. Man, yeah, it was weird. Yeah,
there's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that. But, well, I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'll be curious to see where you find what restaurants have some of the best steak knives. That'll be cool.
Well, spoiler alert, I've already found that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I haven't. Are your knives in any restaurants?
Not in any restaurants. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. But we should try and start getting into it. I know some restaurants that carry some pretty high-end steak knives, but they have a real problem with them getting stolen. It's like people.
Yeah.
There's a restaurant. Rogan talks about it. What is that? It's in L.A. The guy's a knife maker. Makes knives on the side, but he's got a very famous restaurant there. But he makes custom knives for the restaurant.
Right.
But like, they will count, the knives and stuff at the table, and they will bill the hell out of your credit card.
Yeah.
If you get up and leave, and there's not 4 steak knives sitting there.
Right.
They have a real problem with them. They watch them like a hawk because they're custom knives that he's making.
Yeah. That's expensive.
Yeah. But,
I went to a great steakhouse in Austin a few months ago that apparently Rogan makes them stay open till midnight.
Yeah.
And he goes in there with his buddies at midnight.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I can't remember the name of it. I've got it written down somewhere. It was pretty good. I think Texas has better though. So
yeah. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for popping in here and doing this. It's cool. It's a cool story from England to Montana and everything in between. You'll have to come back when the book is done.
Yeah, I'd love that. And also I want to see your shop, your new factory. I mean, it's looking amazing from what I can see so far.
Come spring.
Yeah.
We'll maybe we'll have a barbecue guy up there, and we'll just have a steak at the shop.
Absolutely. Yeah, you should. You should do a steak restaurant there.
We're putting pretty nice, kitchen barbecue area, like an outdoor grilling patio deal, so we can have like barbecue chefs come in and actually cook for events.
Oh, cool.
Or even do like seminars.
Yeah.
Like if we had a really great barbecue guy come in and want to teach, say on a Saturday, and have the public come.
Yeah, you could do butchery classes and all kinds of stuff.
Yep. We're going to put a kind of a butcher block island deal in.
Yeah.
If the bearded butchers are in town and they want to show you how to break down a hind quarter of an elk or something.
Yeah, that'd be
like
great.
That. Yeah. And then we could grill it, do all that. So we're going to have that set up at the building.
It's going to
be awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the progress there.
Yeah.
It's really coming along. Do you think you'll hit your December target?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to be just a little bit early of that, and
good.
We'll be doing good. So
good.
Awesome.
Good. Well, good luck to you. Thank you for having me. It's really been a pleasure to be here today and to see where all the magic happens.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Good luck on your adventure.
Cool. Thank you ever so much.
All right.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.